tomorrow. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll see how 5 simple foods can support your body's natural defense systems in ways most seniors completely overlook. As we age, the body's repair systems naturally slow down. Cells divide less efficiently, antioxidant defenses may decline, and the immune system becomes less responsive. This doesn't mean the body stops protecting itself. It simply means it needs more consistent support. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, aging is associated with increased oxidative stress, which refers to an imbalance between unstable molecules called free radicals and the body's ability to neutralize them. You can imagine free radicals as tiny sparks created during normal metabolism, pollution exposure, or even sunlight. When these sparks build up, they can gradually damage cells, proteins, and DNA. Nutrition plays a role in managing this process because certain nutrients help the body maintain its own antioxidant systems rather than acting as a quick fix. Harvard Health explains that overall dietary patterns, particularly those rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and healthy fats, are associated with better long-term health outcomes compared to highly processed diets. The key word here is patterns. It's not about one superfood or a single nutrient. It's about consistently giving your body the raw materials it needs for maintenance. The Mayo Clinic also emphasizes that lifestyle factors such as regular physical activity, quality sleep, stress management, and balanced nutrition work together to support immune health. Think of your body like a home that has stood strong for decades. The structure is still solid, but it needs steady upkeep, cleaning, repairing small cracks, replacing worn materials. Food provides the building blocks for that upkeep. The World Health Organization, WHO, highlights that non-communicable diseases, including many chronic conditions, are strongly influenced by modifiable lifestyle factors such as diet and physical inactivity. This reinforces the idea that while no food can prevent or treat disease on its own, daily habits influence the environment inside the body. For seniors especially, maintaining muscle mass, supporting digestive health, and managing inflammation are critical components of healthy aging. The NIH and other research bodies continue to explore how plant compounds, such as polyphenols, carotenoids, and flavonoids, interact with cellular pathways involved in inflammation regulation and DNA repair mechanisms. It's also important to clarify that nutritional guidance should be personalized. Seniors may have medical conditions, medication interactions, or digestive sensitivities that require professional input. Organizations like the NIH, Harvard Health, Mayo Clinic, WHO, and PubMed serve as credible sources because they review and summarize peer-reviewed scientific evidence rather than relying on anecdote or marketing claims. Their recommendations consistently point toward balanced, whole food dietary patterns combined with movement, restorative sleep, and stress reduction. In simple terms, the food you choose daily doesn't act like a miracle solution, but it does influence the internal conditions that determine how well your body maintains and repairs itself over time. Berries such as blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are widely recognized for their rich content of natural plant compounds, especially antioxidants like anthocyanins and vitamin C. These compounds are often discussed by organizations such as the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and the Mayo Clinic in the context of oxidative stress and cellular health. Oxidative stress occurs when there is an imbalance between free radicals, unstable molecules produced during normal metabolism, and the body's ability to neutralize them with antioxidants. You can think of free radicals as tiny exhaust fumes created by everyday living. Over time, if those fumes are not adequately managed, they may contribute to cellular wear and tear. Antioxidants in foods like berries help support the body's internal defense systems by stabilizing these molecules before they cause damage. Importantly, research summarized in PubMed databases shows that whole foods containing complex mixtures of antioxidants appear to work more effectively than isolated supplements, likely because the compounds interact synergistically within the body. Harvard Health frequently emphasizes that berries are part of dietary patterns associated with long-term health benefits, particularly when included as whole fruits rather than juices. This distinction matters. When berries are consumed in juice form, much of the fiber is removed and the natural sugars become more concentrated. Fiber plays a key role in slowing digestion, supporting stable blood sugar levels, and feeding beneficial gut bacteria. According to the NIH, dietary fiber contributes to digestive health and may influence inflammation pathways through its effects on the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome, the community of trillions of bacteria living in the digestive tract, interacts with the immune system in complex ways. Whole berries provide both antioxidants and fiber, creating a dual benefit that juice alone cannot offer. The Mayo Clinic also notes that maintaining stable blood sugar is particularly important for older adults, as insulin sensitivity can decline with age. Rapid spikes and drops in blood sugar may place additional stress on the body's metabolic systems. Pairing berries with sources of protein or healthy fats, such as yogurt or nuts, can further slow absorption and promote steady energy levels. This approach aligns with broader dietary guidance from the World Health Organization, WHO, which recommends reducing added sugars and prioritizing whole, minimally processed foods. Another factor supported by research found on PubMed is the role of anthocyanins, the pigments that give berries their deep red, blue, and purple colors, in supporting vascular health. Healthy blood vessels are essential for delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues throughout the body. While no single food prevents disease, incorporating berries into a balanced eating pattern contributes nutrients that support overall cellular resilience. Trusted institutions like the NIH, Harvard Health, and Mayo Clinic consistently reinforce that long-term dietary patterns, rich in colorful fruits and vegetables, are associated with healthier aging outcomes. For seniors, adding a simple handful of whole berries to meals is a practical way to integrate these evidence-based principles into daily life. Cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and kale belong to a plant family that has been widely studied for its unique natural compounds, particularly glucosinolates. When these vegetables are chopped or chewed, glucosinolates are converted into biologically active substances such as sulforaphane and indole-3-carbinol. Research indexed in PubMed has explored how these compounds interact with the body's natural detoxification systems, especially enzymes in the liver that help process and eliminate unwanted substances. To understand this simply, imagine your liver as a recycling and filtration center. Every day, it sorts through byproducts of normal metabolism, environmental exposures, medications, and hormones. Compounds found in cruciferous vegetables appear to support the activity of certain detoxification enzymes, helping the body manage this workload efficiently. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, explains that these plant chemicals do not detox the body in a trendy sense, but rather support the body's own well-established detoxification pathways. Sulforaphane in particular has been examined in laboratory and human studies for its influence on antioxidant response elements within cells. According to research summaries available through PubMed, sulforaphane may activate a pathway known as NRF2, which regulates the production of protective antioxidant enzymes. In simpler terms, instead of acting as antioxidants themselves, some compounds in cruciferous vegetables signal the body to produce more of its own protective tools. This internal response is significant because the body's natural defense systems are often more balanced and sustainable than relying solely on external antioxidant intake. Harvard Health frequently emphasizes that whole foods containing complex phytochemicals provide layered benefits through these signaling mechanisms rather than through a single isolated nutrient. Preparation methods also matter. The enzyme myrosinase is required to convert glucosinolates into their active forms, and this enzyme can be reduced by excessive heat. Research discussed in PubMed suggests that lightly steaming cruciferous vegetables preserves more beneficial compounds compared to prolonged boiling. The Mayo Clinic similarly advises gentle cooking methods to retain nutrients in vegetables. Even chewing thoroughly plays a role. because the mechanical breakdown of plant cells allows the enzyme reaction to occur. This is why finely chopping raw cabbage for salads or adding lightly steamed broccoli to meals can be effective, practical approaches. The World Health Organization, WHO, consistently recommends increasing vegetable intake as part of chronic disease prevention strategies, highlighting cruciferous vegetables as valuable components of a balanced diet. However, it is important to note that these vegetables are not treatments or cures. Their role is supportive, contributing fiber, vitamins such as vitamin C and K, and plant compounds that interact with cellular processes. For seniors, incorporating cruciferous vegetables into regular meals, while considering digestive tolerance and any thyroid-related medical conditions that require professional guidance, aligns with evidence-based recommendations from trusted institutions like the NIH, Harvard Health, Mayo Clinic, WHO, and peer-reviewed research available through PubMed. Fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, and trout are widely recognized for their high content of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. These long-chain omega-3s have been extensively studied and are frequently discussed by organizations such as the World Health Organization, WHO, the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and the Cleveland Clinic in relation to inflammation balance and cardiovascular health. In simple terms, inflammation is part of the body's natural defense system. It acts like an alarm that signals injury or infection. However, when low-level inflammation becomes persistent over time, it may contribute to various chronic conditions associated with aging. Research indexed in PubMed indicates that omega-3 fatty acids can influence the production of signaling molecules involved in inflammatory pathways, helping the body maintain a healthier balance rather than eliminating inflammation completely, which would not be desirable. The NIH Office of Dietary Supplements explains that omega-3s are incorporated into cell membranes throughout the body. You can imagine each cell as having a flexible outer wall made partly from fats. The types of fats consumed in the diet affect the structure and function of these membranes. When omega-3s are present in adequate amounts, they contribute to membrane fluidity, which supports communication between cells. This is particularly important for heart cells, brain cells, and immune cells. Harvard Health has reported that dietary patterns, including fatty fish, are associated with supportive effects on heart rhythm stability and overall cardiovascular function, especially when fish replaces processed meats high in saturated fat. Another important aspect is the interaction between omega-3 intake and overall dietary balance. The typical modern diet often contains higher amounts of omega-6 fatty acids from processed seed oils, which are also essential but can become disproportionately elevated. According to research summarized on PubMed, maintaining a more balanced ratio between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids may support healthier inflammatory signaling. This does not mean eliminating omega-6 fats, but rather incorporating omega-3 rich foods regularly. The Cleveland Clinic emphasizes that whole food sources like fish provide additional nutrients, including high-quality protein, vitamin D, and selenium, which work together in the body. Preparation methods also matter. Baking, grilling, or steaming fatty fish preserves nutritional quality better than deep frying, which can introduce oxidized fats. The Mayo Clinic advises limiting heavily processed fish products that may contain excess sodium. For seniors, including fatty fish as part of a varied dietary pattern aligns with WHO recommendations to consume fish regularly as part of a balanced diet. It is important, however, for individuals taking blood-thinning medications or managing specific medical conditions to consult healthcare professionals before making significant dietary changes. The overall evidence from the NIH, WHO, Harvard Health, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, and peer-reviewed research available through PubMed consistently supports fatty fish as a nutrient-dense food that contributes to cellular health and inflammation balance within the context of an overall healthy lifestyle. Beans and lentils are nutrient-dense legumes that provide dietary fiber, plant-based protein, vitamins, minerals, and a wide range of natural plant compounds. One of their most important contributions to health, especially in older adults, relates to gut microbiome support. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, explains that the gut microbiome consists of trillions of microorganisms living in the digestive tract, and these microbes play a key role in immune regulation, digestion, and even communication with other body systems. You can think of the gut microbiome as a carefully balanced ecosystem. When beneficial bacteria are well nourished, they help maintain the integrity of the intestinal lining and support appropriate immune responses. Beans and lentils contain soluble and insoluble fiber that act as prebiotics, meaning they serve as fuel for these beneficial bacteria. When gut bacteria ferment fiber from legumes, they produce short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate. Research available through PubMed indicates that these short-chain fatty acids support the cells lining the colon and contribute to maintaining a healthy intestinal barrier. A strong intestinal barrier helps regulate what passes from the digestive tract into the bloodstream, which is important for immune balance. Harvard Health frequently highlights that dietary fiber intake is associated with improved digestive health and may influence long-term metabolic wellness. For seniors whose digestive function can change with age, gradually increasing fiber intake from whole foods like beans and lentils may provide steady support when combined with adequate hydration. The Mayo Clinic also notes that fiber-rich foods help regulate blood sugar levels by slowing the absorption of carbohydrates. Stable blood sugar is particularly important for older adults, as insulin sensitivity may decline over time. Instead of rapid spikes and crashes, fiber promotes a slower, steadier release of glucose into the bloodstream. Additionally, legumes provide plant-based protein, which contributes to maintaining muscle mass, an important factor in healthy aging. The World Health Organization, WHO, consistently recommends increasing intake of legumes as part of dietary patterns aimed at reducing the risk of chronic non-communicable diseases. Some individuals avoid beans and lentils due to digestive discomfort, but preparation methods can make a difference. Research discussed in PubMed suggests that soaking dried beans, rinsing them thoroughly, and cooking them properly can reduce certain naturally occurring compounds that contribute to bloating. Introducing legumes gradually allows the gut microbiome to adapt, often reducing discomfort over time. It is also important for individuals with specific digestive disorders to consult healthcare professionals before making significant dietary changes. Overall, trusted organizations such as the NIH, Harvard Health, Mayo Clinic, WHO, and peer-reviewed research databases like PubMed consistently emphasize the importance of fiber-rich plant foods in supporting gut health, immune function, metabolic balance, and healthy aging. Beans and lentils are practical, affordable examples of such foods, contributing to a dietary pattern that supports the body's natural maintenance and repair systems without acting as a standalone treatment or intervention. Green tea is derived from the leaves of Camellia sinensis and is rich in natural plant compounds known as catechins, particularly epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG. These compounds have been widely studied in laboratory and human research, with many findings indexed in PubMed. Catechins function primarily as antioxidants, meaning they help the body manage oxidative stress, the same imbalance between free radicals and protective systems described by the National Institutes of Health, NIH, as a contributing factor in cellular aging. Instead of acting as a medication or treatment, green tea's role is supportive. Its compounds may interact with cellular signaling pathways that regulate inflammation, antioxidant enzyme production, and normal cell maintenance. Research summaries available through PubMed suggest that catechins can influence pathways such as those involved in oxidative defense, but these effects are generally modest and most meaningful when part of an overall healthy lifestyle. Harvard Health often emphasizes that beverages can meaningfully contribute to overall dietary patterns. Replacing sugar-sweetened drinks with unsweetened green tea may reduce added sugar intake, which the World Health Organization, WHO, identifies as an important factor in lowering risk for chronic non-communicable diseases. Excess added sugar can contribute to blood sugar instability and metabolic strain, especially in older adults whose insulin sensitivity may decline with age. Choosing unsweetened green tea instead of sweetened beverages supports hydration without contributing to glucose spikes. The Mayo Clinic also notes that hydration itself is essential for maintaining circulation, temperature regulation, and cellular function, all of which become increasingly important with aging. Another consideration is the mild caffeine content in green tea. Compared to coffee, green tea typically contains lower amounts of caffeine, which may provide gentle alertness without overstimulation for many individuals. However, the NHS advises that caffeine sensitivity varies, particularly among older adults or those with heart conditions, sleep disturbances, or certain medication regimens. For that reason, moderate intake earlier in the day may help avoid interference with sleep quality. Sleep is particularly important because, as described by the NIH, restorative sleep supports immune regulation, hormone balance, and cellular repair processes. No beverage can replace adequate sleep, but lifestyle habits that protect sleep indirectly support the body's maintenance systems. It is also important to address safety. While green tea is generally considered safe as a beverage, highly concentrated extracts in supplement form have been associated in rare cases with liver concerns, as noted in research reports indexed by PubMed. This highlights a key principle supported by institutions such as the NIH, Harvard Health, Mayo Clinic, WHO, and NHS. Whole foods and traditional dietary patterns are generally safer and better studied than concentrated supplements. Green tea should be viewed as one supportive element within a broader pattern that includes vegetables, fruits, legumes, healthy fats, movement, stress management, and adequate medical guidance. Individuals with medical conditions or those taking medications should consult their healthcare providers before significantly increasing intake. Within these boundaries, green tea represents a simple, evidence-informed addition to a balanced lifestyle that supports the body's natural protective systems rather than acting